Konnichiwa. In this video, you will learn how to conjugate Japanese verbs into their te forms for various speech patterns. So, when do we use te forms? Te forms of verbs can be used as a standalone word, as a command. For example, tabete, eat. One can also add kudasai after a verb in its te form. For example, tabete kudasai, which means please eat. It is a polite request or command. Te forms can also be used to combine multiple verbs. For example, I am going to eat first and then I'm going to watch TV. In Japanese, we would say, ご飯を食べてテレビを見ます. In addition, one can use te form of a verb to give permission in combination with もいいです. For example, ご飯を食べてもいいです. It is okay to eat your food. One can also use te form of a verb to prohibit someone from doing something, in combination with はいけません. For example, お酒を飲んではいけません. It is not okay to drink alcohol. In order to conjugate Japanese verbs and change them to their te forms, we will need to know what verb type it is. Its ending also helps determine how we conjugate it. There are three types of Japanese verbs. The first group is u verbs, also known as group 1 verbs, such as the verbs that you see here. There are 9 possible verb endings for this type of Japanese verbs. The second group is lu verbs, also known as group 2 verbs, such as the verbs that you see here. There is only one possible verb ending for this type of Japanese verbs, which is lu, and lu has to be preceded by an e sound or e sound. The third group is irregular verbs, also known as group 3 verbs, and they include the following 2 verbs only. These verbs are short affirmative forms. How do we change the verbs you just saw from their short affirmative forms to their te forms? Let's begin with lu verbs. The te form of taberu is tabete, which means eat. The te form of miru is mite, which means look, watch. That is, if you drop the lu ending of a lu verb and add te, you will get the te form of any lu verbs. To conjugate u verbs and irregular verbs into their te forms, we will need to first learn to sing u verbs te form song. And it goes like this. 映るってぶむぬんですしてくいてぐいてするしてくるきていくいて映るってぶむぬんですしてくいてぐいてするしてくるきていくいて The song tells if a verb ends in u, z, or lu, such as these verbs. Their te form is a small z and te, like these. 買って buy. 待って wait. 作って make something. For a verb that ends in bu, mu, or nu, the te form is nde. 遊んで play. 読んで read. 死んでdie. However, we don't really use this word as a curse word to tell people to go to hell. Instead, people would use 死ね. For a verb that ends in su, the te form is して. 話して talk, speak. For a verb that ends in ku, the te form is いて. 聞いて listen. For a verb that ends in gu, the te form is いて. 急いで hurry. For the 2 irregular Japanese verbs, suru's te form is して do something, do it. Kuru's te form is 来て come. Please note the last verb 行く to go ends in ku, but its te form is 行って not いて according to the rule. It is an exception. Now let's put the 3 types of verbs side by side so that you can see how they're conjugated to their te forms. For the middle group, lu verbs, drop lu and add te. For U verbs and irregular verbs, please use the te form song to reinforce your learning. Now let's learn how to ask the boy to stand and how to ask the girl to sit. To stand is tatsu. When you want someone to stand up, you would say tatte. To make it into a polite command, we would say tatte kudasai. To sit is suwaru. When you want someone to sit, you would say suwatte. To make it into a polite command, you would say suwatte kudasai. Now let's listen to the dialogue between the girl and the boy talking about their activities. 今晩何をしますか？
映画を見て寝ます。昨日何をしましたか？
勉強して音楽を聴きました。Please note that we use mite, te form of miru, to connect the two activities. We use shite, te form of suru, to connect the two activities. Te form itself does not have a tense. In mite's case, it means I will watch TV, future tense, since the end of a sentence says nemasu, I will sleep. In shite's case, it means I did, past tense, since the end of a sentence says kikimashita, I listened, past tense. Here we will learn how to ask for permission. In the top row, the kid wants to watch TV. To watch TV in short form, he would say, テレビを見る. To ask for permission, he would say, テレビを見てもいいですか? Which means, may I watch TV? If the listener would like to allow, he or she would say either, いいですよ, yes, it's okay, or どうぞ, yes, go ahead. If the listener does not want to allow, he or she would say either すみません、ちょっと, I'm sorry, but, or in stronger words, no, it is not okay. In Japanese, it is いいえ、見てはいけません. Now, how would you ask for permission to go use the restroom? To ask for permission, we would say トイレに行ってもいいですか? Which means, may I go to the bathroom? If the listener would like to allow, he or she would say either いいですよ, yes, it's okay, or どうぞ, yes, go ahead. If the listener does not want to allow, he or she would say either すみません、ちょっと, I'm sorry, but, or in stronger words, no, it is not okay. Then in Japanese, we would say いいえ、行ってはいけません. I hope this video has helped you understand how to change verbs into their te forms, and how to use te forms to give a command or polite command, to combine two or more than two verbs into one sentence, how to ask for permission, and to prohibit people from doing something. Te forms of Japanese verbs can be used in many other sentence patterns that I will discuss in later videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. ではまた。